We started the Student Angler Tournament Trail in 2017. We had about 120 kids just in our Brainerd team, which made us larger than all the other teams combined at that time. And then we grew into the SATT, which is the Student Angler Tournament Trail, and it grew very rapidly. Our first year, we had 6 or 8 schools, and now we have well over 150. Our events went from, our first event, I think, had 30 boats in it, and now quite regularly we get up to a couple hundred boats. Now it's more likely that a high school has a fishing team than not. Our first year, when we were first just getting organized, Lund Boats actually reached out to us and said, hey, you know what, we want to get involved in youth fishing. We like the idea of it. We want to get kids on the water. We think our brand is a really good fit for that. So our first year, we actually purchased a boat to give away at our championship. So we gave a pair of 17-year-old kids a brand new Lund Renegade. It was pretty sweet deal. As you can imagine, after we gave away that boat, it grew very rapidly. We wanted to do more though than just give away a boat to a team of anglers. So we essentially then got a raffle boat from Lund, which we do raffle off. Last year, because of that Lund boat raffle, we paid out over $60,000 worth of scholarship money. Every ticket that we sell, $5 goes back to the club that sells a ticket, $5 goes to the SATT for the tournaments, and then $10 goes into a scholarship fund that kids compete for during our Tournament of Champions. Lund has been an absolutely key, and our trail would not happen if it was not for Lund Boats.
Lund also sponsors some of the local teams around the state and helping with their jersey program. So some of these younger schools that are just starting out a team don't have to come up with a ton of money right off the bat. They can go through the Lund program to get their jerseys, and also with the fundraising, some of the newer schools just don't have sponsors yet. So it's a good way that they can raise some funds to get their kids out on the water too.
So there's a lot of value with high school fishing, and I think one of the biggest takeaways that we've had is a lot of these young guys and gals simply didn't have another sport that they were doing before high school fishing. So they weren't part of the football team, maybe they weren't an athlete, maybe they weren't interested in band or something like that, but they love the outdoors, they love fishing. And so we gave them an activity to join, a club to join with other kids like-minded to them. We give them a cool jersey. They wear them to their classes, to their schools, with the other kids part of the team. So it really has been fun to watch the impact that has had on both boys and girls at a high school age.
And family members too. Some of these kids come in and they're into fishing, but their parents aren't because they just never grew up fishing, and all of a sudden the kid wants to fish, and pretty soon the kids are teaching the parents how to fish, and they're upgrading their boats and spending time as a family together out on the water, which is just awesome to see.
So there's very few sports that a young guy or gal can do the rest of their lives and can do with a family, and fishing happens to be one of them. And one of the funnest parts of what we do is watching those kids go off to college and jump onto a fishing team at the college level and literally travel around the country fishing for these college fishing teams. In fact, one of the young guys, one of our first original members from the Grand Rapids fishing team, who's also sponsored by Lund, just fished the Bassmaster Classic, and he did it through the high school ranks, through the college ranks, and then now again fishing the Bassmaster Classic, which is also really fun to see. If you watch the professional tournament trails now, it is loaded with kids that either came through the high school or the college level, and they're competing, they're doing very, very well. That can all be attributed back to high school fishing. Essentially, they're problem solving, and you put 2 anglers in the boat, they got to solve the puzzle of how to catch a bass and how to win this derby. So it becomes extremely competitive. Boat captains enjoy it. The kids enjoy it. We fish for 7 hours generally. It's 7 bass.
Then we have an awards ceremony. You get trophies. Top 10% of each event goes on to our Tournament of Champions. At our Tournament of Champions, based on our raffle ticket sales, determines how many scholarship dollars we can give away. After the event, everyone kind of comes and supports each other and cheers everyone on and congratulates everyone.
One of the coolest aspects of our tournament trail is that the kids are learning about conservation. All of our fish are caught, measured, and immediately released. So our fish never hit a live well. We really talk a lot about being a good conservationist. So we leave a lake like when we got there. We try to work with the DNR and the lake associations to make sure that they understand that the kids are not keeping these bass. We're not taking them back to a weigh-in and then releasing them. So we have very, very little post-mortality. The kids are also learning about sportsmanship and how to be a good competitor and how to handle themselves if they don't have the day that they wanted, or how to handle themselves if they did have the day that they wanted. We really try to teach the kids not only the principles of fishing, but just things that they can take from that and move on with. Thank you, Lund, for supporting these kids. You have impacted way more kids and way more families than you can possibly even imagine. We know that Lund Boats doesn't always get to see that, but we want to say thank you. And there is many, many families that would do just the same.